Hello, wrestling fans. Welcome to SE Scoops. I'm Steve Fall. On today's episode, I am talking to, I think I will add the Mr. Victor Perry, a school teacher who has a after-school wrestling club. What? How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. How are you doing?
I am doing great. Again, I'm not in detention. I'm not in trouble. I'm not being sent to the principal's office, but I'm talking to you about some amazing work you're doing at Kip Amp Middle School, because this is something that stumbled upon my timeline that I had to get involved with. I think it's one of the best things going. You have an after-school wrestling club. This is outstanding. How did this get going?
So it started randomly. Like, it was not planned. It was not something I was like, let me create a wrestling club with my kids. I just so happened to see that Bianca Belair and Survivor Series were in New York City. And I mumbled it. Like, it wasn't even like a declaration. But one of my students heard me and he was like, I like Bianca Belair and I love wrestling. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. And so I was like, well, I've already bought my tickets for Survivor Series, but I will take you to meet Bianca. That's free. And so we went, I took him, and we ended up winning Raw tickets that night. So I got to take him to Raw, and it was just a great time. And he went back to school the next day and told all his peers, and they were jealous. And they were like, I like wrestling. Like, you had half kids who liked it, and you had half kids who were just in awe of like the fact that he got to go out with me, like outside of school. And so I was like, if we started a club, like a wrestling club, would you guys join? And they were like, yeah, we'll join. And so I was like, all right, let's do it. And so we started it during our lunch and recess period. So like, I teach all morning. And then that break is where I'm supposed to like grade papers and have meetings with my coach and things like that. No, that's me planning for what I'm going to do in the wrestling club. And so it's become like my everyday routine, where we meet during lunch and recess and we just watch wrestling and study it and learn from it.
That's outstanding. Again, if I was a student back in 1999 in middle school, and I had a teacher who was like, yeah, let's have a wrestling club, I'd be like, what? And the fact that you're doing this for these students is quite amazing. But the biggest challenge you got going on right now is a GoFundMe page. You're trying to get these kids to WrestleMania. Now, first off, how many kids are in the club? Because I'm doing math in my head really quick. And if you're trying either like drive or fly to these locations and tickets, obviously there's food involved, hotels maybe. Like, how exactly are you going to try to pull this off? Because right now, there are many people on that GoFundMe page, including myself, who donated to this cause to get these kids to WrestleMania, because this is a chance of a lifetime, a memory of a lifetime that a teacher, my teachers were all like these, nothing against them, old ladies who were just like, you seem like a cool teacher who's supplying them with lifetime memories. So first off, how many kids are you trying to bring? And how's it going with that GoFundMe page?
Right. So in the club we have, because right now it's just sixth grade. I haven't opened it up to the entire school because it's just me running it. So it's about 37 kids who we have like on roster, but 20 to 25, about 29 show up for lunch every day. Like, those are the ones that are like, I know they're serious. Like, they're past the infatuation phase. Now they've fallen in love with wrestling. And so out of those 29 kids, I do want to, I mean, if I could, I'd bring all 29. But realistically, 5 kids, maybe 7. So like, I want to bring as many as I can. Because like you said, WrestleMania is a once in a lifetime experience. I've never experienced it. So to experience it with the kids, and to go that week of like all the shows, because I was like, I heard it's like 4 days. Like, you have the SmackDown, the 2 nights, and then usually it's the Raw that's in the same city.
Yeah.
So like, I want to do it. I want to experience the exhaustion, the excitement, the nerves, all of it, because WrestleMania is the grandest stage of them all.
It is. And you're right about the prices, because if you look up when WrestleMania tickets start going on sale, they offer, platinum, silver, bronze packages, and those are about $1,500 to $2,000, and that gets you the SmackDown both nights of WrestleMania. Someone depends if there's an NXT Takeover, Hall of Fame. There's Raw.
Yes.
So like, and then that's just the WWE set of events. There are things going on 24/7. Wrestling matches from morning to night, all the time. So obviously the kids got to go to sleep. They're in sixth grade.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting. I didn't even think about, I forgot, and they love NXT. Like, we're NXT lovers. So, like, we have to do that. Yeah, it's going to be insane. I told my principal I will need all my PTO days and then some for this event. So, wish me luck.
Dude, I got my fingers crossed for you because, again, as a child, I had a backyard wrestling federation, and I remember telling my science teacher this, and he's like, I used to tape it. I had a VHS camcorder, and I recorded everything we did with my friends, and he's like, bring it in. And we showed it in a classroom once, and everyone was like, oh my God, I love wrestling too. So you giving these kids this opportunity to come together as a group, watching matches, and currently, like, who is someone that they always ask for, because there must be requests for matches to be watching during recess and lunch?
Yeah, Sasha Banks, Carmelo Hayes, Bianca Belair. They just discovered. Well, I wouldn't say they discovered the Undertaker, but they know him. But like, I showed them a couple of his matches, and that's all they asked for is Undertaker, Undertaker, Undertaker. They like Ricochet. Oh my goodness, cannot forget Ricochet. They love Ricochet. So like, yeah, they have a wide range. They just were introduced to Stone Cold. Like, they know him. Like I said, the older acts they know of. So to see it now, they're making the connections. Like, oh, those guys were dope, you know. And so like, they're asking for a little bit of the older matches, but it's definitely the newer cats for sure.
Yeah, and of course, you did pull off the unthinkable. You got Sasha Banks to come to your classroom. Now, to me, if a wrestler, and I'm part of a wrestling club, and any wrestler, doesn't matter who it is, walks through that door, you're going to be going ballistic. But then Sasha Banks, of all people, walks through that door. What was the feeling amongst the kids after? Because they must have been on cloud nine.
There was a buzz. That's how I want to describe it. Like a million bees just buzzing. Like, I got a headache. Like, it gave me a headache because I couldn't, as teachers, we have to bounce off of so many energies within the classroom. And one bad energy can set us off and ruin our day. So imagine when it's a collective energy of the same feeling, but it's magnified. Yeah, I definitely had a headache. Like, they wouldn't stop talking. They wouldn't stop. Like, it was just this like for the entire period. And I was just like, whoa, like, yeah, like it took me about 4 days for me to finally live in it for myself and realize, like, yo, like, Sasha Banks just came to our school. Like, she was in this classroom. Like, the kids, and they still talk about it to this day. Like, they love Sasha. Yeah,
of course. I think everyone loves Sasha Banks in the world of wrestling, no matter where she is or where she's going to be. Everyone loves Sasha Banks. So thank you, Sasha Banks, for everything you're doing for these students, because the fact that she was there put really, I think, a spotlight on more what you were doing, because now you GoFundMe page trying to get at least to, I think it was $15,000 to bring a few students to WrestleMania. At least she has put a spotlight on what you're doing, because I think it fell upon my timeline as like, oh, wait a minute, like, this isn't just a normal situation. And so how did that even come to be? Because I've interviewed Sasha Banks, and I had to go through WWE's like PR team to get that done.
Yeah, it's probably similar contacts, I'm sure. They reached out to me via DM, and they were like, Sasha. Well, so Sasha tweeted me that she saw the video and that she wanted to come to the school. And so I was just like, yo, kids, look at this. And they were like, they've been berserk. And they were like, so she's coming, so she's coming, so she's coming. I'm like, no, pause. Like, I ain't got no connects. Like, that's not, you know, like, no. Like, they have schedules, you know, it was right around WrestleMania time. And so we didn't hear anything. And so it was literally a random day while I was just teaching. And I looked at my phone and I sent a new DM from this guy, and I was like, "Who is this?" Like, because I get them every day now, like from everyone, and I try to respond. And so his thing said, "Hi, I'm from WWE," and I closed the message. Like, and I went to his profile because I'm just like, "Don't troll me. Like, do not troll me." But then I saw where like literally every wrestler followed him, so I was like, "Okay, this is legit." And so then I went back to the message and read it, and he was like, "Sasha saw the tweet. I saw the tweet. We're coming to New York. She really wants to make this happen. Can we bring her to your school? Let's get on a meeting." And so I was just like, game. Like, and so we set up emails and a couple chats, like went over the logistics for like the day. And it just, everything literally fell into place. Like that was a crazy day, because it was that same day we had our first field trip of the year since the pandemic started. And so the whole school was out. They took the entire group of kids from 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th to Times Square to go bowling. And I stayed back. I didn't go because I was like, I can't, like, I gotta be here, you know? And I was like, listen, y'all gotta be back at a certain time. Like, I know y'all want to take the children out on a trip. They gotta be back at a certain time. But I knew it was going to be a special day, because the kids saw John Cena in Times Square. Yeah, he was literally in a suit. They said he was walking, and they saw him, and like a couple of them screamed, and he, you know, did his John Cena thing. He kept it moving, and everyone was calling me, all the teachers, Perry, Perry, like we saw John Cena, so you know today's gonna be great. Yay, Perry! And I was like, yeah, today's gonna be cool. And so that day literally was great.
So did any other teachers and students even know Sasha Banks was coming, or you just blindly brought that onto them?
I tried as best as I could to keep it blind, but there's a lot of logistics that for kids you have to go through. So we had to do waivers, because their pictures and stuff are going to be videographed and, you know, posted all over the internet. So they knew something was special was happening. Security, like just a few people knew Sasha was coming, like just for protocol. But the kids knew something special was happening that day. They just didn't know what, you know? So we tried to keep it as top secret as possible.
Of course. And I'm just surprised that there hasn't been more of that since then, because that seems like a PR 101. How do you make your company look good? Bring them to a school. Oh, what are they doing? It's a wrestling club. What do they do in that club? Watch WWE. It's like boom, 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 boom. Like it hits all the markers. So hopefully this interview can get some traction and get you more wrestlers there, because I think the kids would love it. And the fact that we need to put a spotlight, like for instance, this is behind the curtain. Me and you've been trying to schedule a time to talk for a long time, and yet it seems like I was busy, something was happening, and then finally I was like, I need to do this. I don't care what time it is. I'm going on vacation next week. I need these kids to go to WrestleMania.
And I appreciate it. It's been a long day too for me. Like this whole week was crazy. It's the last week of school. We had graduation today, so like long day.
Long day. So I won't hold you too long, but I just want to say thank you for everything that you're doing for those kids, because honestly, I didn't really have teachers who were into what I was into or wanted to help me push forward in life. Unfortunately, my guidance counselor in high school told me I'd amount to nothing. And here I am now interviewing professional wrestlers, working for NBC. So take that, guidance counselor.
Facts. And that breaks my heart, because I know the impact that we as teachers have on children, and I don't take that lightly. So I apologize for that guidance counselor's ridiculous words, but look at you now, like you said, you're killing it.
Killing it. I like it. That's how you just want. I'll just go on the GoFundMe again. Hold on. But I just want to say again, thank you so much for all the things you're doing in this world, making it better. And I swear these children in 20 years are going to remember. I remember Mr. Perry when he tried and attempted and hopefully succeeded getting us to WrestleMania. Let us meet Sasha Banks, had a wrestling club. It's seriously, like, it's something that I don't think people, I might get a little weepy. My eyes are getting a little watery. I don't think people understand the impact children or in guidance children need in this world. Obviously, you're a teacher, you understand, but the fact that you're giving them what they actually like and supplying them with extra makes you more special to them probably than you'll ever know. So I want to say thank you for everything you're doing.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course, of course. So now let's talk about other things now. Two more questions. One is, how did you get into wrestling? Because obviously you're part of a club that with the children, so you must have gone to wrestling at some point in your life. When was this?
So I first discovered it around third grade. It was Velocity. I think that was Saturday.
Wow.
It was Paul London and Brian Kendrick. There's a tag team match or whatever. But then like Victoria like really like sealed the deal for me. I remember seeing her. And my name is Victor and my mom's name is Victoria. So like I don't know if that's why I liked her so much. But seeing her, I was just like, I could watch this all day. Like she's crazy. I'm crazy. Like, and then seeing Orton in his debut, I think that was like 2002. Yeah, 2002. I think that's when like that year. And so like after that, like it's been like this for me. I watched it all the way until I went to high school, and then I fell out just a little bit because I do music as well. And so I developed like that passion as well. My twin, he never stopped watching it. Like he watched it all the way through, and he would just keep me updated. Like, Vic, you should see this. Like you should. He would name drop a lot of the wrestlers who are now my favorites. Like I remember he was telling me about Sasha Banks and Bayley at TakeOver, and I was just like, okay. Like I didn't understand. Because when I stopped watching wrestling, the women's wrestling was not wrestling anymore. So like, I was like, okay, like, all right. He would say like Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. And I'm just like, okay, like, cool, great. So it wasn't until 2020, the pandemic happened, I had nothing to do. Like nothing, like we were in the house. And so like, I just put it on, and it was actually a pay-per-view. It was SummerSlam. And that's where Roman Reigns came back, and I was like, okay, that's the guy William was talking about. And then I saw Sasha versus Asuka, and I was like, that's the woman that he was talking about. So then I was like, okay, the connections are there. So then I just did my whole. Luckily for the pandemic, you don't have anything to do, so I got to go back and watch all the matches from all the years, follow like all the shows. Thank you, WWE Network, and Peacock. So like I was able to catch up, and I was just like, whoa. My gosh, how much has changed. There were so many wrestlers of color. There was women who were main eventing. Like they had a women's pay-per-view Evolution. They had a women's Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, Hell in a Cell. I was like, yo, what has happened? Like this product is completely different from where it was when I left. And so like, that's why I love it even more. Because it's like, there's something for everyone. And there's something that everyone can see themselves being a part of. And that's why I love it so much.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Oh, it's been a pleasure talking to you about the goals you have for the children. And hopefully it's achievable. And hopefully people watch this and retweet and send out the love on the GoFundMe page. After School, the Wrestling Club, Road to WrestleMania, GoFundMe. Mr. Victor Perry. Please don't send me to detention. That I'll never get that. I'll get that joke is so over already, but I love it so much that I'm gonna just keep throwing it out there.
I love it.
Thank you so much for being here. I've been Steve Fall. He's been Victor Perry. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you next time. Bye.